It's called the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. When you see the map, it looks like a teardrop it's like a teardrop upside down. They call it a teardrop of India.
Welcome to the AsiaLink Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Gourlay. AsiaLink exists to share the gospel of Christ with the unreached of Asia. We do this by supporting, training and encouraging Asian believers to share the gospel within their own cultures. This is episode 14. In this episode, I'm talking to one of our Sri Lankan partners about the challenges of ministry in his country and how he is encouraging believers to have a faith in God that overcomes. Could you give our listeners who don't know much about Sri Lanka a little bit of a background or an introduction to the country?
Yeah, Sri Lanka is located in South Asia, neighbor of India and also Maldives. It's called the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. When you see the map, it looks like a teardrop it's like a teardrop upside down. They call it a teardrop of India. And we have a population of about 22 million people, and 70.2% are Buddhist, 12.6 are Hindus, and almost 10 or 9.7 are Muslims. And Christians population is around 7.4. That includes Catholics. So Catholics actually, Christian population may be Protestant Christian population may be 1.5 to 2%. So, and we have some major ethnic groups like Sinhala, they are almost 70, more than 70%. Tamils around 11%, Muslims around almost close to 10%. And Indian Tamils, Sri Lankan Tamils 11.1% and Indian Tamils 4.1%. Like in the US, we also have a presidential thing. We have a prime minister, but president has more powers. We have constitutionally, we were assured religious freedom. But in reality, there are restrictions. Some places you are free. But the Buddhist extreme groups and Hindu extreme groups are organized very well, and they have a lot of impact. Even when a president is elected, when he's sworn in, he will go and bow down before a Buddhist monk. The Buddhists have a strong hold. Even the police will be scared to kind of arrest a Buddhist monk when he does a crime. They have arrested, but they will speak with, they will be bold enough, Buddhist monks. We have a strong hold of Buddhism in Sri Lanka.
Very interesting. How did the gospel first come to Sri Lanka?
There are some accounts to say that Thomas came to Sri Lanka because there's a church called St. Thomas Church in Colombo area. And also there in the north of Sri Lanka, there are some archaeological things, but that's not sufficient enough to prove that Thomas really came to Sri Lanka. But in the later stage, I think they found the Nestorian Christians in Sri Lanka. I can't remember the 6th century or 7th century, maybe 6th century. There were Nestorian, some Persian traders who came to Sri Lanka. And they were based in a place called Anuradhapura. That's a strong Buddhist stronghold even now. But they have come and settled there. There was a business. It's a business hub. And there were some records of chaplains appointed for this church and all. But we were not sure whether they had any outreach to the natives. Some accounts of some authors have written about them, said that the natives were not Christians, but Nestorian church, they had their own priests and congregations. And some even doubt whether they have any services in our languages. Mostly it may be in Persian language for their own people. And even though in Persia, the gospel, this church was vibrant, but here we didn't see that. After the Persian left, we don't have any signs of Christianity till Portuguese period in 1505. So again, 1505, Catholic And when Sri Lanka was divided into different kingdoms, so sometimes it may be brothers ruling different kingdom. They have fight with each other. They get the support of outsiders. So that's how Portuguese were invited by one of the brothers to fight against his brother. But gradually Portuguese supported him. Later they entered the country and they ruled the country. And they demolished Hindu temples, and they have started their own church. They finally took control of Sri Lanka. Then the British came to Sri Lanka and they gave religious freedom to all religions. So at that time, the Christian population was very high. But after British rule, the population came down because most of the people who were converted because of benefits of fear went back to their own religions.
Yeah.
So the British actually, even though British also, I'm sorry to say this, they also exploited our country. But at least they gave religious freedom to all, Hindus, Muslims, Catholics. So actually even all the religions bloomed at that time. Even though the British government, British rulers came to kind of exploit us, but the missionaries who came to Sri Lanka, they sacrificed themselves and served the people. And some of the missionaries, they have sacrificed their lives. And even though we have native medicines and Dutch and Catholics have some Western hospitals for their own people, the natives didn't have government or private hospital facilities. Harriet Winslow, she came to Sri Lanka. She's also from American Mission, American Board of Commission for Foreign Missions. You may know that haystack prayer meeting, and this was started. And she came at that time in Jaffna area. That's the northern part where Tamils lived. And women were not allowed to learn. They were not even allowed to touch the scrolls. So she started a school, a boarding school. That's the first of its kind of boarding school for South Asia or even Asia. First boarding school for women. When the women came for the school, they felt so uncomfortable. They felt they are doing something wrong. But hundreds of people graduated from there.
What other challenges are there for looking at the scene from a Christian point of view?
We have a lot of restrictions from the government side. We can't put up a church building now. For example, we were to put up a training center in one area. The Buddhist monks came, protested, and they didn't allow us to kind of run any program there. Now the Buddhists are going into Tamil and areas and start putting up their buildings. We are not allowed to put up new church buildings or register Christian ministries or churches with the government. Lot of restrictions. We need to get the approval of certain people, and the Buddhist monks will oppose that. Then the economic crisis also made an impact on the church. So many people left the country. Almost 1 million people left. I heard that they left the country. Wow. And many doctors, lecturers, and highly educated and valuable people left the country. And even now they are leaving. So we are short of doctors, short of medicines. Even because of corruption, they have brought in wrong kind of low quality medicine. People have died. So we are in a bad state of affairs economically. Many businesses were down. So even the businesses were down, and people couldn't contribute to their churches. Churches were struggling to pay their rents. And even the people who are struggling to pay their rents, and you see, now people are very frustrated. You see more accidents, more suicides, more murders.
Could we move on then to the way you're working in ministries you know of are working to bring the gospel and to bring an alleviation to these sorts of conditions?
Yeah. One of the things we are trying to do is to convince people not to leave this country. Because of war, already highly qualified and, resource people have already left the country. Cream of the society, most of them have left the country because of war. It's a matter of, we are trying to convince the Christian that our security is in God. They say it's hopeless to live in Sri Lanka. There is no future for our children. We are trying to convince them that our future is in the hands of God, not in the country's economic situation. It's hard. It's hard. Even we struggle to go to a doctor because everything is expensive. Even the government hospital is prescribing medicine outside and scans outside. Many poor people cannot do a scan. We believe in the worst of situation, God has brought revival. So many people are praying for a revival in Sri Lanka. We have not experienced a revival in the recent past. And also we are trying to share the gospel with people and train people. The biggest issue is not sharing. We have failed to live the gospel. A lot of superheroes have come in Christian ministries, self-appointed prophets, false doctrines, luxury life. All these are having a negative impact on the non-Christians. And also people have failed to live a holistic life. Even Christians are tempted to kind of follow the world. So that's one reason we have been doing discipleship training, where it's an inside-out training, where we talk about values. It's not money, it's not position, it's not power, but God. And we talk about biblical values and eternal principles. Yeah, you think about your staff or colleague or neighbor as a person whom Christ has died. We are trying to encourage a gospel lifestyle. Rather, we can't do gospel rallies like we used to have in the past. There will be opposition and most of Christians. So we are trying to see how you could be a servant of Christ in your workplace, in your family, in your neighborhood, and how to kind of communicate kingdom values in your business. So this discipleship is about how to be a true disciple, true signs of a disciple, true call of a disciple as a steward, disciple in the family, disciple in the workplace, disciple in the community, disciple and social response. We give a holistic disciples role. Sometimes people criticize that the Christians are not patriotic enough. So we need to say we have a responsibility towards our country. And also we have a responsibility to share the gospel with other cultures and communities. We are mostly we are mostly ethnocentric. We want to work among our own people. So one of the things we are trying to do is to break that barrier to go to the cross culture. So one thing we are doing discipleship trainings. Second thing we do is the marketplace ministry. We believe that every Christian is a servant of God, a priest, royal priest. So we are trying to, the ministry is not within the walls of the church. So you have a ministry in your workplace. That doesn't mean you go and share the gospel while you are working or read the Bible. That's not correct. So you need to follow the ethical principles while you are working, your life should speak, and interval time and other times your mouth should speak. So we are trying to see that, because a lot of them are very spiritual when they come to church, but in their workplace, in business, we cheat people, we tell lies. Somebody said when a person comes to a church, he takes an anesthesia. He looks like a different person. So we are trying to see how to make true disciples of Christ in all areas of lives to impact our society. And also we talk about cross-cultural missions and for people to come out of their little boxes. Somebody said we live in a small island. We can't think beyond our island. Missionaries stayed longer in Sri Lanka. So we always thought missionaries means always somebody come from abroad. So that perspective needs to change. When we think about missions, we always think about somebody should from the West should support us. It's true, we need support. But we need to give towards the other nations. Either you need to go as a missionaries or send. There's no spectators in missions. So we create a lot of mission awareness, and we help churches, church believers to become disciples. We help churches to send missionaries. We partner with the church. We won't pull a person out of a church and send him. We'll partner with the church and send him. So we are educating the people, and also we are creating awareness about close countries and countries with very little Christian influence.
Actually, I think we have the same problem in our country, and Christ is Lord of all of life.
Exactly.
And that means every bit of me and every bit of my life and what he's called me to, the priesthood of all believers you've mentioned. So does that sound similar to what you're saying?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the AsiaLink podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and share with friends. If you like this podcast, please leave us a 5-star review and join us again next time.